Welcome to Living Your Path. I am Cecile Ferry, a coach and astrologer. I'm here to guide you on how to live and work in alignment with your true self so you can find fulfillment and serenity. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to a brand new segment for the podcast. Welcome to the Cosmic Catch-Up, your 10-minute astrological weekly update. So I've decided to create that every week to cover the astrological transit so that you know what sort of energy we're dealing with. That helps you navigate your week, maybe understand what's happening, and overall, give you a boost of energy and confidence every week. So I hope you will enjoy it. That will be happening every week. I'll try it for a while, see what happens. And then in the meantime, you will still see longer episodes dropping, but at different times of the month. I can't really guarantee for those. A couple of times a month, that will be more in-depth, but this should be short, sharp, and punchy. And there's so much to cover for the first one, so let's talk about we're commencing the 26th of May and dive straight in. So we are in the early days of Gemini season, so you may have noticed in the last few days, things are picking up in terms of mental activity, stimulation. It's a really good time to start getting out more, meeting more with your friends and having more conversations. It's a time for mental stimulation. Things just, starting to spark your interest, being curious, learning about lots of different things. So really using your brain a lot more these days. Just to watch out for nervous system overload when we start doing too much of those great things. Now, two things I want to cover that just happened, but they are still going to be felt. The first one happened yesterday on Sunday. It was Mercury conjunct Uranus. So the planet of communication literally met with the planet of shocks. So maybe you've had a surprise yesterday, or maybe it might still happen today or tomorrow. So this is a time where we might see sudden inspiration or ideas or messages coming out of the blue. Maybe someone you haven't heard from for a very long time will suddenly reappear. It could also be a time of innovation in communication or a time of kind of scattered, kind of electric energy. So if you're feeling a little bit nervous, it could be that. So it may have happened to you already. For me, definitely, I got a phone call on Friday night that was totally Mercury conjunct Uranus. So they may still be happening today, tomorrow. Now, the other thing really that happened on Sunday, but that we are going to feel for a very long time, is Saturn changed sign and moved into Aries. It's a big deal because Saturn stays in the same sign for 2.5 years. So we get the same flavor, and it was in Pisces for the last 2.5 years, and it has not been in Aries for 29 years. So what does that mean? So Saturn is the planet of commitment and structure, and it's meeting Aries, which is about action and courage. So you guessed it. This is a time for action, and you may really literally start like the penny drop into, okay, it's time to start now. It's time to get serious about building something new in your life. What area of your life this new start is into depends on where 0 degrees of Aries is in your natal chart. But that means in that area of your life, you're likely to have had a lot of visions in the past. So you kind of know what needs to change. Now it's about, okay, let's get serious. Let's get concrete about it. And Aries has a surge of courage and of leadership. And that is, I think, very much linked to self-leadership. So this is a really exciting time, I think, for each and every one of us. And it asks the question, what are you ready to start building in your life? Because this is the time to step up and not be afraid and doing it. I will say Saturn is not about rushing at all. Saturn is about doing it in a responsible, mature way and quite serious. So it's probably something that you're going to be building over time. It's not like, let's rush, get it done. Not at all. It's more like, but let's get serious about it. So some questions for you to ponder as you're thinking about this transit. And again, that will unfold for the next 2.5 years, but you will feel kind of the switch probably now, especially if you've got some personal planets around the 0 degrees of Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, or Libra. So some questions for you. What vision have I had lately? And how can I act on it now? Or what am I committed to building for myself? And finally, what risk am I willing to take to achieve a higher version of myself? So this really calls for the next version of yourself. And I'm personally very excited for all of us. So that's Saturn that really started yesterday. So to top this up this week, we have a new moon. And the new moon is in Gemini. So Mercury is actually moving into Gemini and is going to be really stuck to the moon and to the sun, because when it's a new moon, the sun and the moon are together. So this is happening at 6 degrees Gemini. If you have your birth chart, have a look at where this falls in your chart in terms of which house, which part of your life. This is where you are likely to experience a fresh new start. So the new moon in Gemini is particularly important because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is right there as well in Gemini. So if you like, it's having like a double shot of that Gemini energy, which is intellectual, mental energy, and it's about your thoughts and your mind. So that's really the focus of this new moon. And it's an opportunity for you to have a fresh start when it comes to how you think, how you speak, how you write, how you communicate. So think about all those themes for you. What's happening in your life? Are you ready for something to change and a brand new beginning? And I would recommend you set some new intentions because it's a very supportive new moon. There are other aspects that will support it. So take it really seriously. Take some time, pen and paper, and write down 2-3 things you want to bring about in your life, especially when it comes to those themes of communication, talking, finding your voice, and having, the right thought in place. So if you need clarity on something, that this is going to be a very supportive new moon for you. And, if you're thinking, for instance, starting a podcast or writing a book or becoming a teacher, like this is the typical energy of this fresh new start. All those themes are very Gemini themes. So look into how you're communicating, what you want to be sharing, and also what you're absorbing in terms of information and content. I forgot to tell you, but the new moon takes place on Tuesday 27th in Australia and the day before in the US. So a very strong moon because that double Gemini energy. And then Mercury stays in Gemini for the next couple of weeks. So we can expect more of that really sharp mind focus. It's a really good week for planning or for reviewing contracts, negotiating or writing or having some deep conversation. Also a perfect time to journal. So I really recommend you journal on the new moon or you journal on what's going on in your head because you are going to feel like a surge of mental energy. And likewise, it could be a little too much if you are already maybe someone that has high level of intellectual activity. I'm a lot like that. So watch if you need to take a breath and unplug, and especially watch social media and the likes because that's even more, right? Directed at your brain in a week where the astrological activity is going to enhance that part of your life. And so finally, we have also on Friday a special day where Mercury is going to sit in the hand of the sun. It's called a Mercury Cazimi. So again, see, it's all about Mercury this week. If you've learned something, Mercury is the planet of your mind and you're getting a lot of energy there this week. And that's a day of specific clarity. I actually love that. It's like suddenly maybe something you've been thinking about, you are going to see the solution. It's like for one day, you really see the truth or you see the path forward. I love that clarity and that insight. So that will be particularly on Friday. So a really good way to reflect and to progress on your ideas, on your communication, on being open and exploring new perspective. But just make sure you don't overdo it mentally. And if you need to, just unplug, zone out, listen to some quiet music and go for a walk. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the Cosmic Catch-Up, the first edition for the week commencing the 26th of May. Please make sure you follow the show if you enjoy that and share with your friends and family and colleagues so they can also follow every week. Have a beautiful week and I'll speak to you next week. Bye, everyone.